organizations speaking at the event and also hosting tables this evening. So Berkeley Group, Coffee Group, ORS, Jonas Engineering, Takumi, and Mott MacDonald, thanks for your support. And it's an exciting time for engineers from all over the world to come to Ireland. Today, we are very lucky to have engineers from 44 countries. That's incredible. But don't worry, I will not read all of them, but I would like to mention the top 10. And they are Brazil, India, Pakistan, South Africa, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Turkey, Nigeria, and Chile. And we also have an engineer here that flew all the way from Cayman Island in the Caribbean to be here with us this evening in person. So it's incredible. So every one of you brings a unique story and background. And it's this diverse experience that spices up our conversations tonight. Engineers Ireland is your professional home, and we are here to support you in your career progression, provide you with relevant information, and create opportunities for networking. Before we start into the main business today, let me introduce myself. So my name is Regi, as you can see there, how it's spelled and how you write. So it's Regi, and I am from the sunny land of Brazil. My academic background is in business and management, so I'm not an engineer. And I made the move to Ireland in 2012. So it's almost 12 years here now. And 6 years ago, when I joined Engineers Ireland, I noticed that was an opportunity to give more support to international engineers. So I started the Global Engineers series, which is a free platform for individuals who graduated outside Ireland and UK to navigate the Irish job jungle, crack the industry codes, and make connections that could open doors you didn't even know existed. I'm so excited about this network. So thank you again for your participation today. I hope you enjoy the evening, learn a lot, and make some new friends. If you haven't done it yet, please make sure your phone is off or on silent. Thank you. So this presentation should take about 15 minutes, and I will be sending you the slides in a follow-up email. So starting here with the agenda for the day, for the evening. So first of all, I will talk about Engineers Ireland and the Global Engineers series. And then why Ireland, diversity and inclusion, which is the main topic for the last event of the year. And then we opened our discussion panel. And then at the end, we will open for questions in person and also questions online. And we also have a raffle. So a little gift for someone here in the event presence. So a little bit about Engineers Ireland first. So Engineers Ireland is one of the oldest professional bodies in the country. We were established in 1835, and we are multidisciplinary. So any discipline, any type of engineer can become a member. We have more than 25,000 members, and we are the sole body for professional titles, for awarding registered professional titles, which are the chartered engineer, technician, fellow, and associate engineer. So if you ever heard about those, they are all from Engineers Ireland. We are the body that award those professional titles, and we are your professional home. So once you become a member of Engineers Ireland, you will benefit from a lot of things, including the networking opportunities and events this evening. So there are more than 200 events every year. You can access exclusive reports such as salary survey, technical documents. We also have a library available online, so you can research for technical documents. You also receive news by email, so we have engagement newsletters. You can include your membership number in your CV, in your cover letter, in your LinkedIn profile, and in your email signature, which for global engineers, it's very important because it's a way of us being from abroad proving that we are an engineer. You know, we pass through a verification of our qualification, and this will give you a better feature, will feature your CV. You will get a, you know, from not only recruiters, but also engineering companies, showing that you are interested in investing in your career and staying in Ireland. You can learn new skills. So as a member, you get discounts in our CPD courses. And once you feel that you're ready to apply for a professional title, you get all the support you need. We have loads of webinars and one-to-one meetings to help you to go through this process. And then you get your international recognition. So if you are traveling abroad, if you are going for work or moving to another country, you can then bring your professional title with you. Okay. So we are the professional home for global engineers. Last year, 48% of all new members were engineers that graduated outside Ireland and the UK. And so during this year, now we are almost in December, so we had 7 events during the year. The first one was for India. So every event is hybrid, so people that are still in their home country can watch it live online. And I always invite someone from that specific country to speak at the event. We always change the subject and the topics of each event. So sometimes I talk about, you know, CV, cover letter, how to get a job in Ireland. So this evening is about diversity and inclusion. So you see that there's lots of events during the year. And we had one for Africa and Spanish speaking was the last one. And then tonight is for all nationalities in Cork. So you'll find loads of material in our YouTube channel. There's a YouTube channel called Global Engineers. You also find us on Instagram and Facebook. So please feel free to join us online as well. So where are they coming from? So this is based on last year, the 2022 elections of new members of Engineers Ireland, and they are the top 10 countries. So we had engineers coming from 61 different countries, which shows that we have a diverse membership behind in the membership in the Engineers Ireland. So it's a great opportunity for you to talk to people from all over the world. And why people choose Ireland? So I here have a few reasons why. So we are in the 9 of the top 10 US technology companies in the world, and 9 of the 10 pharma companies, 14 of the top 15 medtech companies, and a stable, transparent, and competitive tax regime at 12.5% tax. And I think this is very interesting, especially for global engineers. Maybe you don't know that, but the average of tax that the companies pay in Europe is 21%. So Ireland has a lower tax regime. So that's why you see lots of big organizations here like Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, all those big organizations. And we are member of the EU single market, and we are in the Eurozone, and we speak English. Okay. So Ireland was elected the 2nd worldwide for business environment. And this is from the Institute for Management Development in 2023. So our major manufacturing sectors are the biopharmaceutical, computer and electronics, medical devices, and food production. And I also have here some data from Engineers Ireland. We've done this report last year, actually this year, sorry, 2023, where I actually noticed a few, 3 there for you, specifically to give attention about. So they mentioned that 8,000 new jobs will be generated in 2023. And we are seeing that, you know, there's loads of jobs available. And 72% of employers said they are shortage in engineers to deliver all the projects they have signed for. And 85% members are, you know, confirmed that there are plenty of jobs in the market. So it's really a good time for engineers from all over the world to come to Ireland. So, so now I'll go to the diversity and inclusion in the workplace topic. So why diversity matters? Why is important. Once you have diversity, you can have a creative environment. You have innovative solutions and out of the box thinking. So you have people from all over the world together. They find different ways of resolve a problem and see from different perspectives, and it increased the likelihood of finding an effective solution. A diverse engineering team can better understand and address the needs of global and diverse customer base. And this is especially for engineers. For example, if you are creating a new product that was going to be sold, around the world, so it's good that if you have different understanding from different cultures, the different backgrounds. And engaged employees are more committed to work if they feel valued and included. And another reason is fostering diversity and inclusion helps organizations comply with anti-discrimination laws and regulations. So what are the benefits for professionals, organizations, and the country to have a diversity and inclusion in their organization? So for professionals, it's to have their qualification verified and recognized internationally, and they have an opportunity to get an education on professional titles, how to progress in their career, and understand the industry in Ireland. And professionals, they get professional advice and tips on CV and job searching and learning from others. For organizations, is a way of them attracting new engineering practice, skills and methods from around the world, increase creativity, problem solving and innovation, and new skills and language to support a global customer base. And for the country, this helps, the benefit is to bring new technologies and also investments to Ireland. International engineers share their experience with the Irish professionals, and also helps to address the skills shortage with a diverse and qualified workforce. Okay, so here I have a slide just to how to become a member for those that are not a member of Engineers Ireland yet. So I just important to mention here that I'm not going into very much detail for this event because we have the discussion panel. But if you want to hear more about, details about, I have like a data online graphics of how many people got working employment permits, which is the visa to work in Ireland on YouTube. And there's much more there available in our YouTube channel. But so for those that are not a member yet, a quick one here, how to become a member step by step. So first thing to do is to fill out an application form and then send us a copy of your verified qualification. So this will be a copy of your diploma and your transcripts in English and verified. And verified is when you show your qualifications, your documents to someone in person, and then this person will sign the documents for you. So there are different ways you can do that. So you can ask a member of Engineers Ireland to do and include their membership number and their names, or you can print the documents and go to a Garda, which is the police station here. They do that for free, and you don't have to book an appointment or anything. We also accept documents from Digitary, which is an online platform. You can send a college a form, or if you're not in Ireland, if you're watching us online tonight, you can ask your solicitor, okay, to sign your documents. But if your qualification is a new one, you have the QR code there, which would be in English, then you don't need to go through this verification part of the process. And then we'll need a copy of your ID and then the payment. So how much is to be a member of Engineers Ireland? So students are free. So if you're studying in Ireland, if you're in college, if you're studying master's or PhD, you can be a member for free. If you're looking for a job, is €65, okay, which is reduced fee for unemployed people. And the normal membership fee is €280, okay, and this is for the year. And so once we have the application form, the copy of your qualifications, the ID, and the payment, then all your documents go to the membership qualification board. They will analyze and they elect you as a member of Engineers Ireland. You receive a card, membership card by post, and also the certificate by post. Okay. So if there's anyone that has their qualifications, a copy of their qualification here tonight, you can give to us. If not, if you haven't done yet, because it will facilitate, will skip one step of the process. You know, you have your qualification verified there. Okay. And we also have the refer a friend scheme. So if you know someone, if you're already a member of Engineers Ireland, you know someone that wants to become a member of Engineers Ireland, then the person includes your contact details into the application form, and you get a €100 voucher. So thank you very much. That was a short one tonight. Thanks very much. Now I will open for the discussion panel. Important to mention here that I have my contact details. Feel free to connect me on LinkedIn, or maybe, you know, to hashtag the event and tell your friends, your colleagues from your home country about the Global Engineers series. I also have my the email address of my colleague here, Nosa. He's here tonight. If you haven't met him yet, he's just there. If you have any questions about the membership, he can also help with that. Okay, so I will open the discussion panel now. So the first one I have here is Barry Bowen. So Barry Bowen is the manager of engineering at Berkeley Group, a biosystem engineer with a master's degree in renewable energy, and started his career in engineering recruitment in 2017. He's a passionate professional and is actively involved with Engineers Ireland. Thank you very much, Barry, for coming. Thank you. The next one is Killian Spain. So he's a design manager at Coffee Group. He's responsible for detailed design, delivery, and coordination on designing and build contracts in the water and wastewater sector. Prior to joining Coffee in 2020, Killian worked in London, New Zealand, and the Cook Island in various consultant and resident engineering roles across water, airport, and land development projects. Killian graduated in 2010 from University College Cork with an honors degree in civil and environmental engineering, and is a chartered engineer with the Institution of Civil Engineers in the UK. Thanks very much, Killian. The next one is Alan Kiernan, and he's a senior environmental engineer and associate director at ORS. He's an environmental lead with expertise in licensing, wastewater treatment, waste management, flood risk assessment, environmental impact assessment, and environmental policy and regulation. He has managed contaminated land projects and collaborated with regulatory authorities in Ireland and the UK. He's also a vice chair of the Midlands branch of Engineers Ireland. Thanks very much, Alan. Thank you. Okay, so I was just thinking, like, maybe I'll leave all the questions here because I can't be like getting back here. So there are all the questions that we will have in the discussion panel today. So the first one is about the impact that, here you go, of global engineers on Ireland's workplace. So, so maybe I'll start with you because you're beside me. So how is the presence of international engineers specifically influencing your company in addressing skill shortage? Could you share an instance where international engineers made a significant impact on projects or teams, or any success stories?
Thank you. I suppose we have, looking at international engineers, you can look at their qualifications and the skill set that they bring, and also the potential experience that they have gained outside of Ireland before joining ORS, one example would be a colleague, Renata, who's from Brazil, and he has worked on water projects and civil engineering over in Brazil, but has brought software around BIM and flood modeling to ORS, and has, I suppose, been a lead within the company on the technical driving of the rollout of that software. So a very real and direct impact to the service provision of the company.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Thanks very much. Do you have more?
Yeah, thanks very much. I suppose specifically to coffee, and obviously I'm the design manager. We have our own in-house design team, so we sometimes struggle with the local market and where we are to find people to fill the the technically skilled roles that we require. So we have a real need to find people to fill those positions. I think we've 33 people in our design team at the moment, and what's interesting, 16 of those are non-Irish nationals. So the same 48% that are new members of Engineers Ireland. I think specifically in how they contribute, we have 3 disciplines that we mainly focus on, which is process, mechanical, and electrical in-house, and all 3 leads there are international engineers. So we certainly see the benefit of international engineers, contributing, as you say, those special skills and other experiences that they have. And we're very interested in keeping those people happy and where they are, and contributing to the overall success of the company.
The same question, I suppose. So from our point of view, what we're seeing, a number of the hiring managers that we'll be working with on a regular basis, they're very interested in bringing in, I suppose, engineers from a different culture, different skill set, because of the variety of skills that they would have that would not necessarily be readily available in Ireland. I know, for example, in Brazil, the degree courses seem to be extremely practical. I think they spend a year of the 5 out on site, as opposed to maybe a couple of months in Ireland. So they have effectively very much, a lot of hands-on experience that they can then bring to a role. I know when I was back in college 20 years ago, so lean manufacturing wasn't something that was really talked about in Ireland at all. It was kind of alien to everyone. But and I suppose the idea of having a white belt or a green belt or a yellow belt, whatever it might be, in Six Sigma, that was all new. Whereas I think people are coming in now, and it's becoming a lot more prevalent. But we're certainly finding a lot of the international global engineers would have hands-on experience of that, not just theory, but actually hands-on experience, which is really relevant. And I suppose a lot of problem solving and problem sharing going on, which is super.
Thank you. It's fantastic to see that. And you know what? It's very good to see that organizations are so welcome to global engineers from all over the world. And one of the reasons I have like a discussion panel today instead of like me presenting is to actually show people that it's not me saying, they are all from big organizations in Ireland, and they're all very, welcoming to people from all over the world. So it's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much. So the second question there is showcasing commitment to diversity and inclusion in the engineering sector. So within your company, what values or initiatives promote diversity and inclusion, particularly in attracting and supporting international talent? What do you think engineering companies could do better? Thank you.
Thank you. We have, I suppose, looking at what is required, or what an international engineer would require. You're looking at the help with visas and structure around that. I suppose feeling involved in the company and being given a voice within the company. So the ORS, we would have committees, cultural committees, and innovation committee. We would also always look to get international engineers on that, because there's lots of learnings we can bring from our people, but especially international engineers. We operate a hybrid working model, so we've offices around Donegal, Galway, Cork, Dublin. So there is options of where to locate, and potentially with accommodation and all that being tough to get in some urban areas, there is options to move around. That also facilitates, I know colleagues from Brazil say where they would, for Christmas, go back for, say, 6 weeks. So they could, with the remote and hybrid working model, they can work for 3 weeks at home, take 3 weeks holidays, and come back to Ireland. So it effectively would have 6 weeks at home, whereas they could be limited and trying to save up holidays. So I suppose it's celebrating the diversity and national carnival days for Brazil, and just ensuring that people feel at home and welcome and wanted in the organization. So.
Yeah, I suppose to follow on what I was saying earlier is we obviously have quite a number of international engineers of coffee, but one of the core coffee values, one of 6, is people. So recognizing that people from all backgrounds are our greatest asset. So we need to treat them with respect and also give them an opportunity to grow and develop, and that applies to international engineers who've joined us just as much as it does any other person who's in the company. So we really do believe in that. So we have another number of initiatives that have probably recently started, and we're working on rolling out even more. We've Unlimited at Coffee, which is at the moment a kind of committee of focused on promoting women in the workplace. So with the aim of promoting women within coffee, promotion of women within the industry in general, and hopefully try to attract more women to coffee. But there's plans to expand that further to be a more diverse and inclusive committee in general. But then we back that up. We recognize that when people come to a new country, they need that support to find their own community, and maybe initially coffee is their only community they have here. So we have a buddy system that we line people up with, a workplace buddy, but also a cultural buddy. So when they arrive, that they can ask those questions that you might not be able to find out online, or you might not want to ask in a more formal manner. And then as they get established and settled, hopefully we have a mentor and mentee program. So we try to match people up, give them training skills to be either a mentor, help share that knowledge that we discussed earlier, but maybe they want to develop knowledge in other areas and it could be a mentee. So we have a number of those programs. And then we do, I think everyone probably has some form of hybrid program at the moment, but particularly when we see international people, engineers, they come over perhaps with their family. I know it's a lot of work, you might have kids especially are unsettled by the change, and there's a lot of initial work to get that bedded in, and you might need time off in the mornings to do school drops or in the afternoon. So we have a hybrid approach, but even within that hybrid approach, there's flexibility to meet new people's needs, particularly at the start when they're trying to find their feet.
So it's interesting one. I think last year of all the engineers that qualified in Ireland, it's only 8% were female. And to your point there, the things that they're really putting a big influence on trying to get that number up and up. I think as you know this better than I would now, but over in Brazil, I think it's closer to 30%, and that's something that a lot of companies, J&J in particular, are very, very good at promoting women in technology and I suppose bringing on younger engineers and trying to influence them, not even engineers, but secondary school teachers, trying to show them that that there is a place there for you in this industry, and that we welcome you with open arms. And a lot of companies that we're starting to see, and you see it on LinkedIn as well, they're starting to really kind of get in behind that, row in behind it as well. And I think as things change and as we bring in more and more global engineers, the number will go up, which would be super. It's only going to be a benefit to the industry that we're in. But then you see a lot of other companies as well, which are starting to promote the international, I suppose, culture and influence there. To be fair to Google, they're probably one of the first companies that came into Ireland that really embraced it. And you see them celebrating Carnival or Diwali or whatever it might be, and a lot of companies following suit. So it's only something very small, but it makes a massive difference to people who are relocating over to Ireland for the first time or with their families, as you said. I know there's some other companies who may actually look after families who are coming over, not just sourcing accommodation for them, but actually sourcing schools and after schools and everything else that they might need. And that's something as well that I think needs to be encouraged. And it's great to see some companies doing it, but if I think we've got more and more companies doing it as well, it'll certainly open up, the doors for a lot more global engineers coming in. It'd be great.
Yeah, it's great to see all the diversity and the inclusion that are new projects everywhere nowadays. So it's amazing, and it definitely makes a difference when you're coming from so far and you have no friends and no family. Having the support, it's really, really phenomenal. Thank you. So the third one is about the challenge for international engineers working in Ireland. So what challenges or obstacles do international engineers commonly face when entering the workforce in Ireland? Could you share specific examples to illustrate these challenges?
Thank you. So one thing that I would flag would be the network and maybe knowing people and getting involved in organizations like Engineers Ireland to, I suppose, get that validation of qualifications, but to meet people, other international engineers, maybe at a more local level, the chambers of commerce in local towns or areas that you're looking to move to. And I suppose a key with the network is to have your network working for you. I went to the Engineers Ireland National Conference in Dublin, and just at lunch, I sat down beside a guy from Kenya, James, and he got talking about qualifications and areas that we were working in, and he was working in food science. I was telling him I was working in the area of environmental engineering. He had a friend. So the next morning, after exchanging emails, I had her CV and willing to progress. So I suppose the point is that people you know can be an asset or can be a resource for you. You know, you mightn't be in the country, but if you know people or you reach out to expat communities, you can link in that way and have that working for you remotely to a sense.
Good. I suppose it's mentioned everywhere at the moment, but the cost of living and the housing crisis is certainly no different in Galway or Cork than it is in Dublin or anywhere else. But and that's something coffee we do try and provide at least initially, to have people set up when they arrive and when they land with the company. And our HR team work very hard with the network of rentals and other accommodation that they can provide. So I suppose tied into that is, it might not apply to people in the room here, but expectations versus reality, especially if coming from abroad straight into the business like we've had in the past. And the area where we find that disappointment occurs is where people have expectations and then they arrive and they're just not based in, they're not met really when they arrive. And there's ways we found that that could be mitigated. So there's so many online communities, expat communities around. So even in advance of arriving in Ireland, maybe leveraging those communities networks that like you were talking about, there's opportunity to engage before you arrive and understand what the realities of living in Ireland or on the west coast in Galway are actually like. Ireland's perfect, and Galway's not far off it. I'm from Cork, so takes a lot to say. But understanding that the basics, you were saying access to schools, and that's very difficult at the best of times when you don't know what the process is in the area. You're trying to get yourself set up in the job and try to get off on the right foot. There's a lot happening at the same time. So if you can prepare as much in advance, reach out to your company, would hopefully provide you support. Your other networks and family and friends can provide you support. I'd say that's probably the best way. They're the biggest challenge that we've seen, and that's the best way to overcome them.
Yeah, I'm kind of conscious as well, just from meeting an awful lot of you before during that networking hour that we had. That there's quite a few of you who are here who are here maybe on a stamp 2 visa, and I think there's a common misconception out there with a lot of companies that it's very difficult to obtain a critical skills visa. Okay, back when I started in recruitment in 2017, it was very, very difficult. I mean, there was a wait period of close to 6 months. It was very costly. It was costing companies €10,000. When you fast forward to today, okay, it's becoming a lot more streamlined. It's quite easy actually, right? So long as the company and the candidate, I suppose, have the boxes ticked. So for now, as of today, if you were to apply for visa, you should have one. If you meet all the criteria in terms of your qualifications and everything else like that, you should have a visa, a critical skills visa, within 4 weeks. Okay, which I think is quite heartening, and it's relatively cheap as well. It's €1,000, which typically the company will pay for. Now, if the application doesn't go through, or for whatever reason you decide to pull out, it's only going to cost the company will get 90% back, so they get €900 back, which I think is again is a sign of the times. It's great to see, but not a lot of companies know about that. So I think it's up to, I suppose, the government in one way to educate people and make sure that they know how easy it is right now, but also that we can I suppose work with the candidates then on the other side to say, well, this is what you need to do then to make sure that you're putting yourself, you're putting your best foot forward, that you're putting your hand up, and people know that you will I suppose qualify for critical skills visa. The fact that you're all engineers pretty much guarantees that you will, because of such a shortage in the industries, all of the industries in fact.
Thank you very much. Yeah, there were three very good points. Yeah, the networking, very important. It's very easy to isolate yourself when you're, far away, and accommodation, definitely, difficult, but even more challenging is because you need a job to get a accommodation, to get a contract and rent a house and all this. So it is a challenge, and it's great to see that companies are supporting people that are moving from abroad, and then the visa. I totally agree with you, Barry, as well. 6 years ago was difficult to get a visa, but all the engineering disciplines are in the critical skills list, which is very straightforward. Everything is online nowadays, and it's taking 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you get your visa processed. So if you are, thinking that this is stopping you to find a job, probably it's not the reason. Maybe you should working on other challenges that we probably will be mentioning in the next question. So navigating the engineering job market in Ireland, what tips or advice would you give to engineers who graduated outside Ireland and UK, seeing job opportunities in Ireland? Can you provide examples? So I left this question for the last one because I'm sure we have loads of tips here. So thanks very much. Yeah, you can start.
So challenges, I suppose it's maybe going back or echoing some of the sentiment of my previous point in relation to future plan or forward planning around the qualification, recognition, the networking, and I suppose from a point of view of integrating into the a company when you would join, getting involved in the committees. There is it's worthwhile. It's when there's a colleague of ours, Thais, would have come over, her friend would have followed over, Lila from Brazil again, but both settled in Mullingar, both contributed to the local community. Lila played Olympic handball for Ireland. So persevering with that, I'm not sure I'm answering the question, to be honest. Here I'm going back a little bit, but it's good that everyone is listening. So, I would it is the qualifications, getting the permits, I suppose. With ORS, we assist in that and pay for the permits, and it is through the technical, and I suppose it's identification of the benefits of bringing an international engineer in, from the technical and discipline, but it's also the person. You're dealing with someone who's motivated, who has made the effort to get the qualifications validated, get to a new country, committed to making the move, committed to going to a place where maybe they don't know too many people, but having that effort and, like I said, motivation to engage with a new community, a new country, and develop a new life potentially for themselves.
So tips. I actually asked my colleague Maricel before today what was her number one tip, because Marcel has been with the company 4 years now. She moved from the Philippines with her family, and it kind of threw me. Her one was try to learn the accents. So I'm going to speak a little bit slower now, conscious that I've been speaking fast. But and it sounds small and potentially silly, but by her own admission, when you're in an interview and you're not quite sure what question you're being asked, that can put you in an awkward place from the start. So I don't know how you do that, but certainly joining Engineers Ireland, participating in nights like this, you get to hear one of the hundreds of Irish accents there are. So outside of that, I suppose joining Engineers Ireland and getting that network of people, our best hires are by far by word of mouth recommendations. We obviously have our website that advertises, and we take CVs that way. But if you can get recommended by someone who's in the company or in the industry, that carries a lot more weight, and gets you kind of up the kind of already up the ladder a bit, so to speak. So and then finally, I suppose one thing I personally see is just tailoring of CVs. Obviously people from abroad, UK, EU, non-EU, have a huge range of experience, but it's the terminology, maybe trying to match that to the terminology and the language used in the Irish context just adds that bit of reassurance. Obviously, through any recruitment process, you want to make sure that you're hiring a person who will you know, you're not expected to be doing the job from day one. There's a bedding in period, but you'd like to give the company or the person doing the hiring reassurance that you will be a match for the role. So there's just reassurance when they look at the CV that they recognize the language and the lingo being used. So again, presentations like today, other Engineers Ireland technical presentations will help you kind of find that. And it's just tweaking the CV to the role probably will, for a little bit of effort, go a long way. So yeah.
And just on that, actually, so just like the fact is, most of you have gone to college for 4, maybe 5 years. You know, you've worked hard to obtain your engineering degree, and you've put together a very, very good CV. But just be careful of that CV. You don't want to send it out everywhere. You want to send it to the right companies for the right job. Very often what will happen is that you may apply to, say, for example, a medical device company up in Dublin, and they're looking for someone with 5 years experience, okay, which you don't have, you've only got 2. Then 2 weeks later, they're going to post up a job for someone who has the exact, so they're looking for someone who's the exact same experience that you have, but you're locked out of the system because you've already applied for a job previously and you've been rejected. So I would say be very careful about where you send your CV. Almost be, you know, just making sure that you've ownership of it. Okay, that you're not just sending it as a blanket mass email. I spoke to someone there yesterday who's hoping to move over to Ireland with her partner, and she sent out 300 CVs, and I was just like, "Where'd you send them to?" And she could tell me maybe 3 or 4 companies. That was it. All right, but obviously her CV is just going to be locked out of a lot of those systems. So again, just be careful of that. To your point as well, actually, just about the soft skills, you know, a lot of people, I suppose, would have spent, you know, the last 2 or 3 years maybe of the university life online, okay, where they may have not had the opportunity to present in front of a room like this. Okay, so if you do, you know, if you're confident about public speaking or presentations or, you know, teamwork, whatever it is, list all of the soft skills that you have, because I think that will set you apart from other people who are involved in the process. The fact that you're thinking about moving to another country, or you've already moved to another country, would certainly tell us that you're independent, okay, and that you have the motivation to succeed and to explore new challenges and new opportunities, which is super to see. But I suppose, I think in terms of, I suppose, we're at an Engineers Ireland event as well, and I know Hedgie mentioned this earlier, but having your Engineers Ireland number on your CV just cuts out so much unknown, all right, for hiring managers, because straight away they'll see that your qualifications are accepted and that they're recognised by companies in Ireland, by the Irish framework. And also there's a lot of medical device companies in Ireland, a lot of pharmaceutical companies in Ireland, where you need to have the minimum you can have to work in those roles is a level 8. So being able to showcase that again on your CV will open up a lot of doors for you as well.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, thanks very much for all the tips for people that are graduated outside Ireland and UK and are here looking for a job, or maybe thinking of moving to Ireland. There is still, you know, watching us online today. So yeah, I see people every day that they are living in Ireland and they are engineer and they're not working as an engineer. And I was like, can I see your CV? Okay, now I know why you're not working as an engineer yet, because you would be shocked, you know, with people like loads of working experience, this is the way they format their CV. It's very important. And I have more content about this available in our YouTube channel. So how they do cover letters, for example, I never heard about cover letters before. It's not a thing that we use in Brazil. And then here I was like, what that means, cover letter? And there is even like the way we format the CV. Like in Brazil we would put the working experience first, and then the education goes like more towards the bottom, and you don't put like those first text in the beginning telling a little bit about yourself. It's very different, you know. You wouldn't add, you know, picture here in Ireland, but we do maybe, you know, in Brazil or in other countries. So big tip there, if you're looking for a job, work on your CV, and also make sure you ask maybe an Irish person to review it, you know, because sometimes, you know, we speak English, but it's not the way that Irish people write things down or speak English. So, and it's interesting about the accent. Yes, definitely. I think this is still something very interesting, how Ireland is small, but there are so many different accents that it's like when I arrived from Dublin to Cork, in the taxi. I was like, oh, wait, I can't understand what he's saying. Like, you just have to switch a little bit your ears to understand the accent. So thanks very much. I really appreciate all your knowledge and your time and being here with us today.